Introducing the Past Present Feature Film Festival, a new showcase celebrating cinematic storytelling across time. From bold proof-of-concept shorts to standout new films lighting up the circuit to overlooked features that deserve another look. Sponsored by the Past Present Feature podcast and Leica Camera, all films screen in Hollywood using Leica's CineWay projector. Submit now at filmfreeway.com/past-present-feature. The past, the present, the future of film, all under one spotlight. Welcome to the Past Present Feature podcast. Introducing the Past Present Feature Film Festival, a new showcase celebrating cinematic storytelling across time. From bold proof-of-concept shorts to standout new films lighting up the circuit to overlooked features that deserve another look. Sponsored by the Past Present Feature podcast and Leica Camera, all films screen in Hollywood using Leica's CineWay projector. Submit now at filmfreeway.com/past-present-feature. The past, the present, the future of film, all under one spotlight. Mercedes Bryce Morgan unpacks the whirlwind making of her latest feature film, Bone Lake, an 18-day Atlanta shoot that battled storms, injuries, and lost gear before completing its night boat climax on a Los Angeles soundstage. After a fantastic fest premiere and deadline-breaking international sales, the erotic survival thriller heads to U.S. theaters this weekend with buzzy audience reactions and a proudly fun commercial popcorn spirit. Mercedes traces her path from mini-DV Star Wars shorts as a kid and USC film school to festival features, describing her taste as a mix of Oldboy's Devastation and Amélie's Heart. Other past influences include Barbarians, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, The House of Yes, Funny Games, and The One I Love. Her TIFF-premiering Fixation back in 2022 sparked her love for erotic thrillers. On Craft, she argues the best twists are guessable seconds before they land, and test screenings help her fine-tune which parts of the mystery viewers might sense without solving it too soon. Her advice to young filmmakers: embrace constraints as boot camp, stick with collaborators who love the work, design for the audience experience, and make sure you enjoy the day-to-day, because the process is the life. You had a big day today, it looks like. I just Googled Bone Lake deadline 2 hours ago. Is this correct? You've sold some territories.
I didn't even know we came out on deadline 2 hours ago, so an exciting place to find out.
Well, there you go.
Then apparently, yes.
Wonderful. Survival thriller Bone Lake starring Marco Pegosi, Maddie Hassan. I'm going to fuck these names all up. Maddie Hassan? How do you say her name?
Yes, Maddie Hassan. Yeah.
Alex Rowe and Andrea Nacheta. Andrea Nacheta,
yes.
Andrea Nacheta. I'm going to take that back again. Survival thriller Bone Lake starring Marco Pegosi, Maddie Hassan, Alex Rowe, and Andrea Nacheta sells to host of international territories. Deadline 2 hours ago. So congrats on that. That's great.
Thank you. Yeah.
I feel like that's a moment that a lot of filmmakers don't reach sometimes, you know? To be able to.
No, I mean, I'm excited. This is going to be my first movie in theaters. So, it's hard to get there, and it's exciting when you do.
Man, yeah. Is it a limited theatrical, or what is what are the details of the theatrical?
Yeah. So currently we are going across the U.S. And it will expand from there depending.
Amazing, nice. I love that.
Yeah.
Especially now because we're all concerned. I guess we're all confused. We're all like, are theaters going to be here 10 years from now? Is the sky falling or is it not?
Yeah. No, exactly. When I kvetch with people, I always say, you know what, things are great and awful at the same time. So we've had so many awesome movies come out in theaters recently. That's exciting. But then also it's harder to make movies and get people to go to theaters at the same time. So it's depending on how you look at it.
Yeah. So your film, Bone Lake, it was the premiere at TIFF. That's correct? This year's TIFF?
The premiere was at Fantastic Fest.
That's right.
Yes.
Okay. Fantastic Fest. How was that?
Yeah.
How was your premiere?
It was awesome. I love Fantastic Fest. I've had 2 movies there. I also had another movie at TIFF, so that's maybe the confusion. But I've had 2 movies there. I love it, and I'm going to be back on the jury this year. So,
nice.
I'm obviously a big Fantastic Fest fan. Yeah.
And then I think your previous film, Fixation, premiered at TIFF 2022?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah. Erotic thriller of a babysitter who starts to dose the kid she's babysitting with LSD.
Wow.
Things obviously go wrong.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How did that film go for you?
I mean, that was great. It was funny because my first and second movie switched places. That was supposed to be my first movie, and then COVID
Mm.
hit. And so I ended up doing Fixation first, that movie second. And so, it was awesome to do. It's a very small movie, which it should be because it's so unique in its subject matter. That's the kind of movie it is. But it was great. I feel like I found my love for erotic thrillers through that. And so I've just been excited to continue it through Bow Lake.
I think it's perfect timing to kind of just go right into the past even more as far as your films that aren't yours that inspired you, like past films. What for you? Why do you make the films you make, and what are some kind of inspiring
Yeah.
past films for you?
No, totally. So I say that the two sides of my personality are kind of the original Oldboy and then also Amélie, because I love things that are lifted and larger than life, but also kind of done in this genre way or surreal way. And that can either be something very dark, like my movie coming out, but it can also, take the Amélie form as well. But I've also, obviously, I'm a big film lover, so I've had hundreds of hundreds of movies influence me. I basically try to watch a movie every mealtime. So
Oh wow, every mealtime.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. No, my partner and I will wake up in the morning and we go, "Ooh, what should we watch during breakfast?" And then we'll continue watching it during lunch and
that's
then
so
hopefully
good.
watch a movie in the evening as well.
But to
Yeah.
be conscious about that, like, okay, it's mealtime, which means it's movie time. Okay, so real quick, Amelie. That's a great movie. That's one of those movies where the first time you watch it, you're like, it's like Run. It reminds me of Run Lola Run for some reason. I think maybe
Oh
because
yeah. Also a
they're
big fan.
so unique, and I had never seen certain things before seeing those films. It's just like a giant, beautiful, colorful montage, I guess, in a
Yeah.
way.
No,
Talk about it if you
definitely.
don't mind.
Yeah.
Like, what do you love about it? What is it about it?
I think what I love about it is, first of all, I think akin to that when I first watched it, I'd never seen a movie quite like that before. And so it kind of opened a different world of cinema for me. But I also think that there's a lot of movies that are visual feasts, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're character based.
Mm.
And that's one of the movies I can attribute to, oh my God, this movie made me cry within the first 15 minutes, which is also a super feat. It makes me cry when she has no friends and then she loses her fish. And I go, oh my God, it just gets me when someone only has one thing and they lose all of it. It's basically, I feel like they probably got inspired in the beginning montage of Up, and also Searching, because it's kind of the same thing. But they're all kind
Oh,
of the same formula of someone
yeah.
has almost nothing of their life except for this one thing, and then that one thing is taken away and it's
And it's so
devastating.
simple, isn't it? It's so
Yeah.
simple, but solid. And
Yes.
Amelie is like
Yeah.
such a likable character. Like you just love her immediately. Lovable, not
Yeah.
likable. What was the other one that you liked?
Old Boy, the original Old
Oh
Boy.
boy. The damn
Yes.
ending. That's the okay. That movie messed me up where it's like, this is not
Oh
okay.
yeah.
This is not
Yeah. That's
okay. What?
exactly. No, I
And then
love
the
to be
rewatch is even more
devastated.
brutal. Yeah. We went and saw that a
Yes.
year ago, back when it was back in the theater, and I'm like, here it comes, here it comes. Ah!
But no, exactly. I know it
Yeah,
still
yeah.
hurts even when you could see it. But also that movie, I every single department is incredible in that movie. And I always say that good plot twists are something that you can probably guess maybe 30 seconds before it happens in the movie, because if you guess it too soon, it's too predictable. And if you don't guess it at all, that means that they maybe didn't give you enough clues. So they're not
Interesting.
treating their audience as smart enough and setting things up. So it's
Yeah.
almost the perfect of you go, oh no. And then it happens directly afterwards.
So how do you craft that kind of thing then? What's your process as far as trying to get the
Yeah,
audience to that point?
totally. So my process is I've kind of, in all three of my movies, I've kind of had big extreme plot twists. And the way that we've kind of crafted that is a couple things. First of all, we try to get many takes in scenes, whether you're supposed to trust a certain person or not, to give it away. And then we also do, I'm a huge fan of test screenings. And so
Hmm.
we'll ask people, what did you guess? Or what did you not guess? And I don't think that a good plot twist means, for example, I've had certain movies where we're okay with certain people guessing certain things, but the thing
Hmm.
is that you don't want them to guess anything. It's the who, what, when, where, why, where you go, okay, maybe they know the who, but they don't know the why. And so it's kind
Mm.
of picking like what your tension is specifically with that. That's going to be your plot twist too.
Nice. Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Cool. So cool. I love this podcast so much because you just get all these different little perspectives and these tips and tricks and these different methods for people. And that's good just to see it that way. Okay, so Bone Lake, how did this project come about? And I just want to say too, the trailer is so good, and I just love
Thank you.
when Bleecker Street pops on and you got the little chessboard moment and with the sound design hitting. I was in. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm in. That was a moment for me. I'm like,
That's
okay,
it.
I'm in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, love to hear that. Yeah,
It's like,
no, I
oh,
mean the
oh,
way that the
yeah.
project came around is I got sent it through my reps actually, and they said, "Hey, go ahead and here's the script." And sometimes they'll get a script and they go, "Okay, we don't know when it's shooting. Like, I can take a couple of weeks to read this." And right after they sent it to me, they said, "Actually, you need to read." They sent it to me on Friday and they said, "You need to read it over the weekend because they're meeting with people on Monday." And I go, "Oh,
Hell yes.
okay."
That's what you
And
want.
so, yes, that's what you want. And so I read it right away and I just immediately fell in love with the team at LD. They are literally and figuratively a family because it is a family business, but also I kind of developed that relationship with them.
Hmm.
And so, we met and we saw that we were aligned, and then we started shooting. I think it was like 2.5 months after that. So it was the quickest,
Mm.
fastest process I've ever had on a movie. I know it wasn't like that for everyone else because they had it for a long time before I came on, but it was a great experience for me in that sense.
Well, good for you. Yeah, I've heard a
Yeah.
few times where it's just like it goes so quick. Like sometimes where it's like boom, and you got to
Yes.
be ready, I guess, right? Like if the
Yeah.
attachments are
No, totally.
attached, the money's attached,
Yes.
the way all the things are attached, and then it's time to go. That's like
Yeah.
a dream.
Or, I mean, I've also had the opposite where I've had movies where it takes years because you attached, your financing is cast dependent and you attach cast, and then that person has to drop
Oh
for a
my God.
scheduling conflict or something else happens and you kind of have to start at square one
Yeah.
and then you do it again and then actor, schedules conflict or something else comes up. And so it's just stretches out over this multi-year process.
It's nice to hear because, it does exist, I guess, still. Like as far as
Yeah.
it doesn't have to always maybe be so devastatingly painful or whatever.
Yeah. No, exactly.
So you got brought on and you read the script first of all. What was your thought of the script whenever you read it on
Yeah,
Friday or Saturday?
totally. So whenever I read a script, I can only read it for the first time. So every single time I read it for the second time, I'm going to know what the plot twists are. I'm going to maybe not become bored or excited at the same points because I've become used to it. And so I make sure that when I read it for the first time, I'm in a place where I'm actively writing down what I'm thinking and feeling as I'm experiencing it. And so for this specific script, I I audibly gasped at the plot twists.
Nice.
And I'll put a script down and I'll, go make something to eat or take a break or like, go work on something else. And for this one, I just read all straight the way through because I had to know what happened. And so for me, I go, okay, I'm having this visceral reaction. This is telling for me that we have something here.
And it's almost like it's like reflective of how an audience would experience or viewer would experience it,
Yeah.
right? Because they're not
Yeah,
going to sit there
exactly.
and they're just going to watch it. They're going to take it in for the first. That's a kind of a question too, where it's like, I wonder how many people are first time viewers only of a film. I wonder what that percentage looks like. Do you know what I mean? Like, because
Yeah.
so many times
Yeah.
people don't. It's not about a rewatch. I mean, the ultimate goal, I think, for me and for most of us, is to make a film that has rewatchability, right? But
Mhm.
most
Yeah,
of the time, you're
definitely.
showing it to someone for the first and maybe only time.
Yeah.
Or
No,
yeah,
exactly.
if they watch it for a first time and they don't like it, they're damn sure not watching it a second time.
No.
Um,
No.
anyways, that's an interesting method too. Dang. Okay, Dan. Um, so okay, you read the script and then you had the call on Monday. And what by Monday or Tuesday or by the end of that week, you feel like it was a go, and then
Yeah,
you shifted your
definitely.
whole schedule in life, probably, or how did that work?
Basically, yeah, shifted my entire schedule on life and kind of wiped the slate clean. I always joke because whenever a friend invites me to a wedding, I go, "Oh my God, that's amazing. I'll totally RSVP, but also know that I can't let you know until a couple of days or a week of if I can actually go because that's the friend that you signed up for. And I'm sorry,
Yeah, yeah.
but
I'm
that's
a
kind of what our
filmmaker.
lives are like." Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly.
Wow. So then, was the cast already attached, or did you come on and kind of build that out with the team?
Yeah, so Alex Rowe was already attached, and then the rest we brought on. It was a combination of actors. Maddie Hassan is someone that I've worked with in the past, and Marco Pagosi is someone that the producers work with in the past, and then Andra was an actress who had been in a French short of mine, and I remembered her from watching the short 5 years ago. Because we were like, oh, we want a fresh voice in this, and I thought of her, and we had her audition.
Just the trailer, it gave me. I thought about Ready or Not, that one with what's her name, Samara Weaving. Is that her name?
Mm-hmm.
And then it also reminded me of a little bit of what the hell was that called with Jacob Elordi and Barry
Saltburn.
Saltburn. I don't know, something
Yeah.
about it. Maybe the class, it had a class dynamic thing. I don't know, or maybe it was like a relationship swapping dynamic possibility. But I don't. It gave me those vibes, maybe because they're just recent and it's kind of like a nice big one location like fancy setting. I got a good feeling about this movie as far as, well, obviously you just stole some territories, but it does just scream commercial appeal, I feel like.
No, definitely. We definitely wanted to make a movie that is a fun popcorn movie for people to watch. I'll say that we haven't gotten that, but I think definitely I'll take the compliment in terms of, it's erotic and it has a young hot cast, and things become genre. And so definitely, but definitely some of like the inspirations that I had for it was, we've been called Barbarians, hornier sibling, which I'll
Wow.
totally take.
Hell yeah.
Because we have a similar setup, but they go in very different directions. And for me, when I was watching it, or when I first read it and I was kind of formulating my vision for it, I took a lot of influences from Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, even though that's a very different genre because it's couple against couple. Or even House of Yes was a big inspiration for me.
House of Yes. Which one is this?
Yes.
House of Yes.
House of Yes is it's starring Parker Posey, and it's an older cult classic movie.
Okay. House of Yes.
Yeah.
Performance Field Night. Wait, what is this? House of Yes, 1997. Shout out to the construction workers next door. The House of Yes. Hold on. The House of Yes, 1997. A mentally unbalanced young woman who is convinced she is Jackie Kennedy flies into a murderous rage when her brother returns home to reveal he is engaged. And this was like, Parker was doing some just like high level indie stuff then, right? I mean, it was just like boom, boom, boom. Like,
Yeah,
that was the space she was
exactly.
in.
Yeah, Funny Games and The One I Love were definitely some other obvious influences.
Original Funny Games or remake?
It's funny because they're both kind of very similar. Since
Didn't he do both of them?
remake.
Michael Haneke directed both of them, right?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
So if it was any other movie, if you're asking me, oh, Oldboy original remake, it's a very different answer. But for Funny Games, it's shot for shot by the same director, so it's kind of the same thing.
That's right. Well, interesting enough, like even just like remakes and Spike Lee remakes of classic films. I just saw Highest to Lowest. I might cut this out because I don't want to be negative, but why, Spike? Why did you make it? I don't understand. Anyways, that was this weekend. I'm like, House of Yes, Parker Posey, nice. What about the in between kind of getting it just pre-production and production. Let's talk about that space, and like how it started shaping up. What were some kind of highlights? Yeah,
our production was very crazy because we were originally an 18-day shoot. And so it was very jam-packed. And so pre-production was kind of planning as much as insanely possible so that there was not a gap, an ounce on the day that was not being used to get another setup or another take.
Were you accustomed to that kind of shooting with your previous films?
I am, yeah. Make a movie that costs a certain amount, and we're going to put even more jam-packed into it than people estimate us for. And I think that allows us to get the time we need for performances and everything else. And I think that the unplanned version of this movie is that it's just standard coverage, and we said no, we want to do some crazy shots. And so to be able to do that on a schedule that's this tight, it just kind of requires that. And so a lot of it was coming up with the shot list, finding the location, then rejiggering our shot list in tandem with the location. And something I like to do is I'll kind of act out the movie with my DP and whoever happens to be around us in the space so that we're kind of able to formulate our own blocking. And then I'm a huge fan of, obviously a lot of people reference stills, but I'm a huge fan of GIFs because if we're doing some crazy camera movement, I can hold up a storyboard for someone, but for their brain to kind of put together 7 frames, it's not as intuitive as just showing someone a moving image. and then being able to say, oh, the camera twirls in this way, or it comes through the doorway here. Or it match cuts like this because they're doing this specific thing.
You have some unique methods. I feel like you have some cool kind of like fresh takes. That's really cool.
Yeah, and I feel like it's just kind of been on set and learning just with different people where I go, oh, if I hold this up to the operator, they just instantly know what we're doing next without me having to explain it. And it just allows everyone to go faster because everyone can just look. And I'll even make stuff in the space where I go, okay, I acted out, we acted out the shot and made it into a GIF so they can see, oh, the actor comes through this specific doorway and lands at this certain time.
I'm sure they love that.
And we're going to need this much track. And so we go, great, got it. Go for it.
Nice. No, I love that. That's really great. I mean, would you say that, having to shoot with limited resources previously, that helps? It's a silver lining, right? When you do get resources, when you do get more, it's all, what do you call it? Subjective. It's all relative. It's all what you think is a lot of resources, because if you're comparing it to no resources, then any resource is a lot of resource. So talk about just the silver lining, please, of going through it or not having much, but still choosing to make a film. And then how later films, how that helps you out. And, you're more prepared to not freak out, in like a tight situation, maybe.
Totally. I mean, I think it's all relative, like I've never done like a micro budget feature, but still when you're working with a couple, I know it's tough, but I've done a lot of shorts. But when you're working with, even a couple $1 million, like it's not like the same as being given $20 million or $50 million. And what I always tell people, I go, if anything, that just makes you better prepared because you're having to do the same things on all those other shoots, but you're having to think about it more beforehand because you can't show up on set and go, you know what, we'd really like this kind of prop we didn't think of. Or how about we just take an hour to block the scene because we have the time to think about it. No, you have to do the same thing because you still want to make a good movie and plan it more.
And I used to be a grip in my 20s when I was a younger man, and on big films, and there was so many times where it'd be like $60 or $80 million movies, and you would just watch this director who was like new sometimes, and they were just kind of hired to be told what to do, it seemed, but they were freaking out. They didn't know what to do. They were so fucked up about so many things, and us that were we thought we knew better because we but it's like we had made our own. It's like, what's the big deal? Just put the camera right here, bro. Why you gotta? It was just one of those. It's like it's good to have a little bit of a boot camp experience, right, with anything.
Yeah,
and then to be able to know what to expect from there, as opposed to, I don't know, being given too much too soon. But so I guess what I'm trying to do here is just console my younger filmmaking self and other people that are going through it right now, where it's like, hey, it's good to have nothing. There's value in that beyond, it sucks to need more and not have it, but also there's value in not, and having to learn things and having to learn how to be more creative because you don't have that easy thing you can reach for. So.
Yeah, definitely. Nice. Something I'll also say about that too, though, is funny enough, I sometimes feel like it's almost harder to make your own short than a movie in some ways because it gets dragged out over a long course of time and you're having to ask people for a lot of favors. Whereas on a movie, if everyone's on, that's all that they're doing with their day every single day for the entire amount of time. And if you need notes on something, you go, you know what? We did this score. It's not working. We need to completely reconfigure the sound of the movie. If you're on a short and you're asking someone for a favor, that's a big favor to ask someone. Whereas on a feature, if you're not asking for favors, so I think
this transaction's less solidified because it all comes down to people's time. I feel like and time and energy and desire to like want to do a good job. And when you're asking for favors, you're going to get limited amounts of all of that. You have to be really strategic. But no, I think I agree with you because it's all about like the end result. I think having a good process, but the end result. That comes from like healthy collaborations.
No, totally. But I've also been on projects that have a lot more money. And I'll ask for something where I go, hey, can we get the specific color of backpack or something? And, people in our department might not care because they're not showing up because they care about the project. We don't have, we'll have more money, but it's not money put in the specific right places. So you go, we don't have money for the backpacks. And I go, what? This is a bigger budget than anything I've
It's
ever
all
worked on.
situational, I guess,
Yeah.
then. Because there's sometimes where you'll take a job, my past self would take a job where it wasn't enough, but I'm like, let me get that just to have it. And then people would just bleed you dry because they think that they've given you a lot of money because it's all their money. And then you end up working harder and more and longer, and it's a pain in the butt. And then you get these big jobs that pay wonderful money, and it's like they're so easy. But anyway, sometimes too, it's like as a producer, when I've produced, films that have a pretty decent budget, short films, whatever, and it's like the more you pay people, the more brats they can be sometimes too. So it's very ironic.
Yeah,
As far
I always tell
as the
people they
crew
should
side
never
of things.
take. Yeah, they should never take a job thinking that it's a favor, because everyone should be there because they want to be there. And someone could think of a job with, a $5,000 day rate as a favor, or someone could look at a job as, $300 as a favor. It should be what feels good to people, because they should be coming on because they
Hey,
want
man,
to.
if you agree to a rate, then come on and do a good job, and don't be a bitch about it. That's what I think. But
No, I agree.
yeah, it's like once you find the people too that you love, it's so nice to try to continue bringing those people on. And like if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I have multiple people I've worked with, but like both one of my favorite producers to work with and production designer and editor. I've been working with them since I was a USC film student. And, now it's more than a decade later since I first started working with them, and we're still working together.
Okay, cool. This is a nice little segue thing, because I was curious about a little bit more of your origin and like where you went to school, and like what is your first memory of being a filmmaker? Start there.
I would take my camera that used mini DV tapes, and I would bike down the mountain to my friend's house, and we would go shoot Star Wars action figures. And
Well, I have to
that's
show you this. I still have this guy. This is my
amazing.
old
Yes.
Sharp. What is this? I don't even. It's like this. This doesn't work anymore. I mean, it turns on barely, but I've ran this thing ragged. That's a Walmart sticker when we used to film it.
No, exactly. Yeah,
Anyways,
yeah. But no, that's what we would do. And I remember the first day I discovered, oh my God, this is what a tripod is. We can make all our shots still, it's just like little baby steps of filmmaking. And so
nice.
Yeah.
It's those moments. I remember the moment where literally where it's like, oh, this would be way better if I just thought about it first before I filmed.
Totally.
Oh.
Well, some people never learn that concept, but hopefully they do.
Yeah. Well, some people think too much and don't ever push record too. So.
Also that's true.
Yes. USC. How was USC?
So I mean, I loved my experience there. I loved my class members. I felt like I learned more outside of class instead of in class, though, because I was motivated by the people around me, because everyone was making things, and I thought, oh my God, I have to make things too. But then actually in class, they kind of changed the curriculum when I was there so that people were actually making as much films, and that
they were not. They were doing more theory at the time, or
more theory, and just like, for example, there used to be a class where people would go through the whole semester and they would make 5 short films, and they changed that to you make a documentary piece and then you make like a scene as an idea of something. And I thought, oh my God, I'm gonna direct without having a director portfolio. And what I always tell people, I go, you know what, you should just expect that like the first 5 to 10 shorts you make are gonna be bad. And maybe they're great, and that's amazing.
And you'll get one that's good.
Yeah, maybe you make one that's good, and that's fantastic, but you never learn unless you do it. And I look back at my work every single year or 2 years, and I go, man, I learned this on this one, and this one's better in this way. And
it's like 10,000 hours. It's not that complicated, really, with anything, right? You can't just like hop under a metaphor time. You can't just roll under a car and expect to know how to fix it, right? You have to learn how to do it. I mean, I mean, back in Wilmington, North Carolina, where I'm from, I was blessed to have actually Dino De Laurentiis Studios, and then it was Carol Co., and then it was Screen Gems. We had the studio there. And anyway, so I got lucky that was our film school. I went to like a film program at community college and watched a bunch of old stuff, but getting on film set, and seeing the physical reality of it and observing all these different directors. And as I was making $22 an hour, I always had this concept, I'm going to get paid to learn. I'm not fucking paying to learn. I'm not doing that. And then also it's like, let's always make a short film between any show or movie that we work on. Let's no matter what, unless I can't, no matter what, try to always take a minute and make a short over the weekend. And we did that constantly. And it helped so much, you know? And it was just like beginning, middle, and end, one location or whatever it can be. And we thought we were funny. So we were making funny stuff, comedy. And and it's like, thank God. And it was that kind of notion of, it's that balance of thinking about it before you do it, but then also knowing when to push record, you know?
Yeah.
Which
No, definitely.
a lot of people would be stuck in those either or space. But anyways, I think it's like, I'm not going to sit here and say film school is bad, because it's not. It's like everything is situational. Everybody has different things.
Yeah.
But I think the key thing is, like, I wish I had more film theory, to be honest with you, you know, sitting around talking. I mean, I did, but I didn't have any educated guidance. You know, really, that would have been cool. So that's where film school is invaluable, in my opinion, in networking. I'm sure USC was really good for networking, would you say?
Yeah, no, definitely. But I think I think anything in life is what people make of it. So I went to film school with people who didn't make anything, and, you know, that's okay, because if they went to film school or didn't, they wouldn't. And then I know people who didn't go to film school and they made stuff all the time. Like, you know, it's the person, and it's whatever the person wants to make use of in the situation.
It's so true. And, you know, some people like to hate on people that were get born into a certain situation. But it's like, man, we know people that have done nothing with that. And we know people that have.
Exactly.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
It really is just, what do you make of it? Yeah. Also, you can't help when you're born. Okay. So, production, highlights, challenges, anything you want to talk about, anything that's exciting, any little kind of sound bites on
I mean,
filming.
We shot in Atlanta, Georgia, and we were actually not originally able to complete our last day of shooting, because our last day of shooting was a fight scene on a lake at night in a boat, which anyone who's in production would hear all those things, and they're like, oh my God,
that's terrible.
What a tough combo.
Yeah.
And so we went and we had an actual storm instead of just our fake storm going. And so, you know, we had, like, our stuntman fell and slipped and broke his finger because the boat was wet. And, like, he's, you know, they're such professionals. They're like, oh, I'm just walking around. I'm like, you okay, man? He's like, yeah, I broke my finger. I'm like, okay. But, you know, and it's like another person slipped and fell, and, like, a lens fell on the lake, and we were like, oh, nope, all right, shutting it down. And so we actually ended up shooting the ending of the movie on a soundstage in LA, faking our boat being out on the water. And so, you know, that's just something where you never expect it. But filmmaking, I always think of filmmaking as it's a process that stays in your body, because it's either very hot where you're filming or very cold and you're in the elements, and they're greatly affecting you at every turn of the way, unless you're in a soundstage. But I've even had sound stages get shut down from lightning.
I hate sound. So. I used to work on this show called One Tree Hill. It's my first kind of thing back in the day. Do you remember that show? Anyways, it was so boring to work on, because we'd be on stage half the time. I mean, they would also shoot around town, but I hate stage, personally, as a crew person. I hated stage work because it was so boring. And on location was just, like, always something different and new, even if you were sweating through your shirt for the 5th time that day.
Totally.
You know, but just personal take.
Yeah. But, no, I feel the same way.
I don't miss being a crew person at all, to be honest with you. That's just, that's my night. It's so ironic, because it was wonderful the first 3 years, and then, I know this isn't my interview, but I just feel like I need to say this.
No, go for it.
You know, and then it just flipped where I'm like, oh my God, I hate this. But it was just like, I don't belong here anymore, you know? And
well, I think we need crew people to do stuff. Like, I think that everyone's job is really important. And I think that, you know, like, I've done jobs with other people on set, and I'm horrible at it. Like, I second AC'd for a while, and I was not a great second AC, even though I really, you know, was eager to learn. And I was a PA, and I could not handle someone talking to me and having a walkie in my ear at the same time. So I'm really grateful for everyone to do those jobs, because everyone is really good at a specific thing, and that's why I really appreciate people.
I was almost envious of how people could, like, I was envious of almost my previous self in that way, where it's like I was content for like 2 or 3 years, where I was like, oh wow, but I was more mesmerized about everything. And then once the actual shine wore off, you know, of being on film sets and seeing celebrities and seeing directors that I had, you know, looked up to, cinematographers, you know what I mean? Then it was like, oh, it's just knowing where knowing where you belong and don't belong as an individual. You know, it's just, it also gives you more admiration for for the work of a crew member, and then the dedication and the long hours, man. The long hours. 12-hour day is a
Such long
short
hours.
day. It's
Yes.
ridiculous, actually. I think it's ridiculous.
I know.
Absolutely ridiculous. My first day ever on any set as a PA was 18 hours long. First day ever.
Oh yeah. The longest I've ever
For
done
NBC.
is 24 hours.
Damn.
You know.
24.
Yes. Yeah. I was also a PA on that, which makes sense because PAs
What?
have longer days than everyone. Yep.
That's not a long day. That's a whole day.
Yeah.
What? Wait, 24?
Yeah.
Wow. I've never heard that. That's
Yeah. I mean, all the crew was like, man, we just made double on our rates.
That's what, see, that would be another thing. Oh, golden time. It's like, I don't care about the money, bro. I need some sleep. I would like to have a life, please.
Yeah, I like to play the game of like, how much would you pay for a good nap right now? Like, how tired are you? But like, how much money would you pay if someone would be like, you could nap right now?
There's also such a camaraderie, though, about those situations that I miss. You know, there's like the family aspect in a way. You're like, you're in the army together, you know, when you're on set like that, which I do miss that stuff, you know, and just like it's like you're scratching so many itches at once where it's like it is a social situation. It's not like you need to be anywhere else. You are constantly interacting with other people, and it is a fulfilling thing.
Definitely.
You know? But also you're getting paid. But then you go home, you don't have time to enjoy the things you're paying for. That's where it got really interesting.
That's real. Yeah.
It's like, whoa, you know, especially as a crew person where you're always on set. It's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I have no life here.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, so you had to shoot on soundstage in LA, and how did that go? Did you feel good about what you got?
I felt great about it. It was nice because we got more time to do more stunts and more of the ending moments. And so it was actually a blessing in disguise.
More control.
And I would rather shoot a storm, you know, even though we say things about soundstage, I would rather shoot a storm on a soundstage any day than a storm on a lake.
That
shooting
first day
on the water is hard.
That first day I was telling you about the Ever was a show called Surface, and it was like it was this like giant wave pool on stage 4 Screen Gems, and we're the same place where Brandon Lee had his incident for The Crow, same corner of the stage. Anyways, it was all just like cue the waves, cue the lightning, cue the thunder, cue the da 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 da, cue techno crane, da da. But it was like crazy. They were doing it on a soundstage, and it looked so good even back then. But you have to control that when you're dealing with water. Jesus, you need to control it as much as possible.
No, totally.
Truly.
Every element adds another thing where you go, okay, we have more time between setups to make sure this thing is going to this thing, and you should, or else it's going to go wrong. But also as a director, you're like, oh my God, I get less setups.
But also,
Also,
of course, your movie ends on a lake, I'm assuming. Spoiler. Maybe.
Yeah, we don't say what happens on the lake, but it is called Bone Lake. Oh boy. So, you know.
What about post? How did it come together? How did the movie kind of did it come together seamlessly and perfectly? It was so easy, or how did it look?
Yeah, I mean, it was a longer post process because we went through our movie, we edited it, and like I said, I'm a huge fan of test screenings, so that was the normal part of the process because I like to make movies for people. Like I think that there's different type of directors, and I appreciate different kinds of movies, but for this one, we went, okay, we want to make stuff that people enjoy going and watch. It's not just, oh, here's this really long scene that's very boring for the sake of something else. This is a popcorn movie.
Yeah.
And so I think it was just a longer process because, you know, our producers were doing lots of movies at the same time and everyone was doing lots of things, but we wanted it to be good at the time that it was supposed to happen.
And what's wrong with a good commercial film or good, what do you call it, popcorn movie? You know, you don't have to, it doesn't mean it's got to be insulting to an audience, right? I mean, we grew up on great popcorn genre films, didn't we?
We got
blessed with that, where it's like this complete perfect convergence of like art and commerce, you know? Why not? Let's get more of that. Because like I don't want something to be too artsy fartsy. I mean, I like a good, I like some sustenance, but sometimes I want a donut with some cream.
I mean, like, exactly. I like all types of movies, but like I want to treat each movie the way that they should be treated. And so this one specifically, like that's what this movie is. And so that's what it should be. So
how do you feel it came out as far as if you're a viewer? I mean, are you happy with it? I mean, it looks like it's doing well.
I'm so happy. The reviews that we've gotten have been awesome. We have a 95% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Hell yeah.
And people have had great responses, and it's especially been fun to see people's reaction to it in the theaters, because people, like, it feels the way when I've gone and watched cult movies, if you have a audience react very audibly,
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of the response that we've had. And so that's been
You
my
said
favorite
oddly.
thing about the process. Audibly.
Oh, audibly. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So people are just
Like,
literally
people will
gasping,
gasp
they're
and be like,
laughing.
oh, no, that didn't just happen. Yes.
Do you have a lot of kind of tension that's followed by humor or any of that kind of thing?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
exactly. Like, our movie is definitely like a humorous movie. Like, it's meant for people to laugh at it. And so, like, that's what we want people to go and experience.
And it's so cathartic, I guess is the word. It's such a wonderful experience, especially with an audience, like in these types of movies. Did you see Weapons yet?
Yeah, I loved Weapons.
It was
That
like
was
that.
so
And for
fun.
me, we saw it a few weeks ago. Yeah, it was like the crowd was great. It was like the best time I've had at the movies this year, for sure. I'm not sure if it's my favorite movie this year, but it was the best time at the movie theater. It was so fun. So everybody was on the same
People were
thing.
reacting and being like, my God.
But then it was funny. But then it's like, was I supposed to laugh at that? Like, this movie.
Yeah, I
like
think
you're
so.
In it.
Yeah.
What's better than forgetting about your problems and day, and just completely wanting to be at the movies?
I agree.
Nice. Okay, so Fantastic Fest, you premiered, and then what was after that? What you just been?
I mean, basically, we've had like other genre festivals, which have been amazing. Like, we were just at Fright Fest in the UK, and so it's just kind of been at multiple festivals until we release it October 3rd in the US.
Oh,
yes.
Okay, it's coming quick.
Yep.
October 3rd. Okay, nice. Let me ask you this: what would you tell your younger filmmaking self if you could go back in time? Give some advice.
Oh man, I would tell my younger filmmaking self so many things, because I feel like every single movie I'm on, I learn something where I go, note to past self. That's what happens when you do this. So this is what this feels like. But I think that one of the biggest things is just, there's so many things with the movie where we get told congrats at the same time, but there's another step of congrats, this part got greenlit, but this part isn't yet, so we have to keep waiting. Or, congrats, you got good audience reviews, but are you going to make it at the box office? Like, there's so many boxes you could check to think like, this is amazing, or, I made my movie, but then I don't have my next movie set up. And so I would tell my younger self, like, it matters what your day-to-day experience is of, are you enjoying this? Like, are you someone who goes on set and you're hating it the whole time you're on set? Then even if you love the end result, like, that is the life that you're choosing to sign up for. So you probably shouldn't be doing that. Or, it's if you're a writer and you don't like writing, like, you should maybe examine that with yourself. Or even if you're an actor and you don't like auditioning, like, that's a lot of part of the process. And so I think it's really figuring out what you actually enjoy.
Because we can forget to check in with ourselves, right? That's kind of what that is.
Yeah,
you feel like you're like so determined sometimes, this is what I'm going to do because my old self decided it.
Yeah.
But then you find yourself not enjoying it, which, there's also another flip side of the coin where it's like work, it can become work, but as long as, I guess, it's fulfilling work.
Yeah, right? Exactly. And also, like, I think also sometimes, we're very privileged to be in a position where we go, work should be fun. Like, work is also work, and it doesn't have to be fun all the time. But
I'm telling my 5-year-old
still
really?
Like, it's a huge privilege to think like that.
Totally.
Because most of the world is not able to think like that. But if you have the option to influence that for yourself, you should try to put yourself in the best position.
Love that so much. This podcast is brought to you by Valerian Projectors, featuring the Valerian Vision Master Pro 2, a filmmaker and film lover's dream. This outstanding 4K HDR tri-laser projector boasts 3000 ISO lumens, Rec 2020 color, and an impressive 15,000 to 1 contrast ratio. That gives you those deep, rich blacks in every frame. That's what I as a filmmaker care about the most. With IMAX and Dolby Vision compatibility, Google OS, Active 3D, Filmmaker Mode, the list of impressive specs is endless. It delivers an exceptional cinematic experience when viewing the films of our podcast guests. Head over to Valerian.com to get yours today. That's VALERION.com. Please like and subscribe to this podcast and follow us on social media at Past Present Feature. And let us know in the comments section what movies you're watching. Thank you so much for listening to the Past Present Feature podcast, and we'll see you next time. Peace.